All right, Jose, I'm going to elaborate on my point here. As you know, back when people were saying, "Oh, Arsenal should sign Ivan Toney," blah blah blah, I was, Kai Havertz defender number one. I think enough of this stupid 8-10-6-4, whatever. When he plays up front, he's got all the tools to be a center forward.
Yeah.
Right, and I like to think I've been proven right. Arsenal have been very good with Kai Havertz as their center forward. That said, the guy's playing all the time.
Yeah.
There is no alternative. And the fact that he plays all the time, what it suggests to me is that Arteta says, I need somebody like that up front for me to play my football. If he was in a position where he felt comfortable varying it, putting Jesus there or Trossard, two little guys running around, whatever, maybe even Raheem Sterling, sure, fine. But he doesn't, because Havertz is always freaking there.
Yeah.
So I can't help but wonder, did they miss a trick here? How important is that alternative to Havertz? Maybe in this one, if they were going to leave you the flanks and you were going to pump balls, might it be helpful to have another big fella in there?
Maybe,
this kind of thinking. Or maybe just to give Havertz a little bit of rest.
Yeah. We saw Gabriel Jesus coming on in the game on Wednesday night, and Havertz playing a little bit deeper then behind him in that second half.
So put on the little guy who doesn't score.
No, yeah. I don't know if he's the answer or not, but it's just another option that you have up there. I just don't think there's many players like Havertz in general anyway, with his size and with his technical ability to have the two combined. So I don't think it's easy to find. Then you can go for a different profile, which is true. But I certainly think that he needs a bit of a rest, because you're right, he looked jaded at times. It's not the same run exactly. It's certainly not the same influence and efficiency in front of goal. And I think this efficiency, the block from Bisek, for example, in the second half, I'm not really sure why he chooses to put the ball there. I think the other side is quite open. But I think you also lose, because you're tired, you lose a bit of composure in those situations. And that's, for me, the reason why he missed that chance, for example.
On Inter, we can celebrate Hakan Çalhanoğlu. What is it, 15 consecutive penalties, I think.
He's never going to miss. He doesn't even look like he's stressed or anything like that before taking them.
And Inter do look a lot better when he is in there in front of the back four, because he can combine the attacking phase with a defensive phase. And I think it's interesting. We've seen this happen a little bit with other people, where earlier in their career, they're kind of like sort of number 10s, creative types.
Yeah.
And then as they get older, they move in front of the back four. I think they have an understanding of space, which is much better. And I think very obviously in this game, Arteta's plan was to put Trossard on him to kind of shield his playmaking. And he dealt with it so well. I thought he either kept slipping away from Trossard, or he kept putting himself in a position, letting Zielinski go, in those periods when Inter had the ball, which admittedly wasn't very much after they took the lead.
Yeah. More in the first half than the second half, because after that they just defended a lot.
Talking about Edu leaving the club, now there's plenty of reports out there that he's headed for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
our friend Marinakis.
Yeah.
We'll have to, I'm sure, Edu, if you're listening, and I know you often do, if you invite Marinakis to your house, please be advised that he may expectorate on the floor, because this is what he does. So
that's only when he's angry.
No, it's only when he's angry and he doesn't have a handkerchief nearby.
Yeah,
otherwise, he just puts the handkerchief in front of his mouth and
coughs.
Spits into that, in fact. There's been suggestions that, there's going to become some sort of multi-club thing. They're going to add another club, blah, blah, blah. Who's going to be in charge
so
of
they
the
have three
thing.
for now.
There's been suggestions that he's tripling his salary. The numbers I saw seem, frankly, unfeasibly high for Edu, just simply because what he brings. I'm all for paying directors of football a ton of money, because I think a good one is worth it. So I'm not 100% sure about that part. I think the question for Arsenal is, what sort of profile of director of football do you bring in?
Yeah, I don't really know what the answer is, what they want. I guess they would
What
want
do you
somebody
want?
similar.
If they were to ask you.
Just similar to Edu, I think somebody who is obviously good with his own network and contacts and everything, but also somebody that can be a leader in the club and that can represent the club really, really well. Whether he's played or not at the club, I guess it's always better if you play, especially in the very good years, because you understand the club a bit more, I guess, than somebody coming from the outside. But I think this is the profile that is not just a sporting director; it's somebody that just has all the values that the club has and wants to show and wants to put forward. That is also very important. So it won't be easy, but there will be a lot of people applying for that job, definitely.
I think in terms of representing the club, being outward faces, both towards the public a little bit, but also, especially in dealing with some of the perhaps more colorful agents and intermediaries, I think that is a big part of the job, and that is a big part of Edu's value add. I think another big part was, I think he shared power. My understanding is over the last couple of seasons more than he did early on, and he was fine with that, and he was okay with that. And I think that takes humility, especially also as Arteta's role increased, right? Because he did better, and Arteta
Yeah,
had more influence. I think is absolutely critical, just simply because it's good governance, though. That there be somebody come in who's not just an execution guy, who doesn't just go around and does what Arteta says. I think that is a downfall of a club. I think you have somebody in who says, okay, I don't work for Arteta, I work for the Cronkies, and I work for Arsenal. Arteta has a job here to go and deliver in the short term and some medium term. My job is to look medium term and long term. Um, I think, and I would imagine that is the profile that they're looking for. But of course, he has to
yeah,
align with Arsenal's way of working as well.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm assuming the job hunt has just begun.